I devoted 3 years of my life, including loads of personal time, to manage their store, and they accused me of theft. Welcome to A Better Way, where we explore methods of resolving conflict in your professional and personal life. I'll call today's story Tormented Timber. I was in my 20s, fresh out of the army, and quite naive. I applied and got a job working for a timber and hardware store. Even though I was very young, within 6 months I had been promoted to stores manager, and the next 6 months they promoted me to the actual store manager. For the following 3 years I managed the store, all the while the owners ventured across and around the world. A specific event, though, changed my views and opinions of the owner and eventually prompted me to resign. My aunt used to do wood carvings and ordered a specific type of wood for her hobby. The agreement was she would pay on delivery. On delivery, though, our driver contacted me and told me that my aunt didn't have the cash on hand. As it was my aunt, I said just leave the wood with her and I would pay the money out of my pocket. I then proceeded to place the money into the cash register. The following day, though, the owner and his wife called me into his office. They then stated that I had provided my aunt with the wood at no charge, effectively accusing me of theft. The owner had obviously received a bit of intel from the driver, who most likely had a bit of a bone to pick with me. A cross-check, though, of the cash register and the related slips would have shown that I had paid for the wood. I was absolutely devastated at this accusation, as I believed that there was some degree of trust between the owner and myself. Since my employment inception, I had dedicated myself to the business, spending much of my own personal time in the store to manage the many facets of the business. At the time, I was not skilled in forms of conflict resolution, and so did not confront the owner regarding his allegations. Shortly after the incident, I submitted my resignation. The owner then remarked, saying, "I was expecting you to resign soon." So, was this conflict resolution effective? In order to formulate an educated opinion, we need to understand the different forms of conflict resolution. Today I'll be using the Tomas Kilmann conflict mode instrument. In this model, there are 5 conflict modes. We have competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and accommodating. Right, so what conflict resolution did I use in this instance? My approach was a form of avoiding. The accusation of theft, which I perceived as a profound breach of trust, led to an intense emotional response. Since I wasn't skilled in conflict resolution at the time, I chose not to confront the owner directly, instead removing myself from the situation by resigning. This is a common response when a person feels overwhelmed and believes that there is no way to resolve the conflict. But was it the most effective way? Given my emotional state and the feeling of betrayal, resigning was an understandable choice, especially as I wasn't equipped with conflict resolution skills. However, in terms of resolving the specific conflict of the accusation, it wasn't the most effective way. Resigning didn't clear my name or address the owner's lack of trust. Instead, it seems to have confirmed their suspicions, as indicated by the owner's comment saying, "I was expecting you to resign soon." They likely interpreted my resignation as an admission of guilt rather than a response to feeling hurt. So, let's have a look at some alternatives and a better way to resolve this conflict. Here are a few alternative approaches I could suggest, and we're going to frame it in a bit of a what-if scenario. Let's start off with a collaborative approach. This approach would involve confronting the owner directly, but in a calm and structured way. I could have said something like, "I was very hurt by your accusations yesterday, as it made me feel like you don't trust me. I put the money of my aunt's order into the cash register myself. I'd be very happy to show you the deposit slip and cross-reference it with the cash in the system. I'd like to have a look at this together so we can clear up the misunderstanding and figure out why there is a gap in our communications. This method uses collaborating. It focuses on finding a mutually agreeable solution and preserving the relationship. It's assertive without being aggressive and seeks to address both the factual error and the emotional fallout. Let's have a look at option number 2. It is the competing approach. This is a more direct, assertive style. In this scenario, I focus on proving my innocence and challenging the owner's accusation head-on. I could have responded immediately by saying, "That's a very serious accusation. It's completely false. I paid for the wood myself and the money is in the cash register. Let's go and check out the records right now." This approach, while not ideal for preserving the relationship, might have been effective in immediately clearing my name and standing up for myself. It demonstrates confidence and a strong conviction of innocence, which could have put the owner on the defense. Option number 3. It is the accommodating approach. This approach focuses on maintaining the relationship but at the expense of my own needs. It wouldn't have been an effective long-term solution, but let's explore it. I might have said something like, "I'm sorry there is a misunderstanding. I should have explained the situation before the driver returned. Let's go and check out the records now, and I can prove that I paid for the wood." This style might have smoothed things over initially, but it would not have set a good precedent, because in the future the blame might have been placed on me if there were misinterpretations. So, what are the key takeaways? Learning to handle conflict effectively not only resolves the immediate issue, but also preserves the situation from spiraling into a total breach of trust and into the severity of a resignation. I'd love to hear from you and your views and perhaps past experiences. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.